Before the world ended, Jake was the greatest treasure hunter alive. He could find any artifact regardless of its age or location, with underwater exploration being his specialty. He valued his independence as his own boss. Then a catastrophic solar flare struck Earth, destroying all electronics and causing government collapse. Warlords seized control as cities starved. Currency became worthless, diseases spread, and medicine and fuel vanished. 6 years later, Jake continues treasure hunting in England. He investigates an old neighborhood before entering a hotel and climbing to the penthouse. After examining a bookshelf, he discovers a hidden door concealing a secret room. Jake plants small explosives to breach the steel door, then connects his battery for illumination. Finding a keypad-locked safe, he analyzes fingerprints on the keys and tests letter combinations in his notebook until discovering the correct password. Inside the safe, he finds vintage records and plays the one matching the password. The music triggers a second hidden safe, revealing an expensive violin. Suddenly, armed thugs in police uniforms burst in demanding the violin. Jake refuses and threatens to shoot them. When they attack, Jake opens fire, systematically eliminating each thug while engaging in hand-to-hand combat during reload breaks. After exhausting his ammunition, he throws a blade into a fleeing man's back. When the leader removes the blade, Jake activates an explosive hidden within it, killing the leader instantly. Later, Jake enters a massive mansion converted into a factory filled with dangerous guards. He delivers the violin to the warlord's assistant, who informs him that King August has another assignment. Jake finds it strange for a warlord to claim kingship and declines the job since it requires crossing the English Channel. When August learns of Jake's refusal, he instructs his assistant to find an irresistible offer. Jake returns home to his broken boat in the docks, carefully avoiding his own security traps before feeding his dog. He examines his payment supplies, including a record he plays while drinking. As he sleeps, Jake dreams of sailing a pristine boat around the world. A morning noise awakens Jake. Outside, he finds a soldier caught in one of his traps. The man announces the king's arrival, so Jake leaves without freeing the trapped soldier. In a warehouse, August waits surrounded by dozens of soldiers. He explains that despite hiring many people, none matched Jake's treasure-finding abilities. August shares his efforts to rebuild civilization, but Jake remains uninterested until August reveals the reward: a brand new boat. The mission involves retrieving the Mona Lisa from a secret storage facility. Since Paris was among the first cities attacked, the government evacuated all national treasures. August promises Jake all necessary resources and food, convincing him to accept. Jake says goodbye to his dog and asks August's assistant to care for his pet if he doesn't return. At the airport, Jake worries about their bullet-riddled plane. August shows him a map with designated routes and areas to avoid rebels. In the city center, one of August's contacts will guide Jake. After retrieving the Mona Lisa, August will drop evacuation equipment 3 hours later. That evening, Jake departs on the plane. The confident young pilot claims everything functions perfectly, but Jake notices him struggling with controls during flight. The pilot admits they'll run out of fuel halfway and need parachutes ready. Jake requests parachuting advice since he's never used one, but the pilot offers little help. Jake falls asleep and dreams of sailing with a woman beside him. Sudden turbulence awakens him to discover they're under attack. Despite the pilot's evasive maneuvers, they must drop earlier than planned. After finding a safe location, Jake jumps and deploys his parachute, enduring a painful landing. Moving forward, Jake finds fires throughout the area and discovers rebels hanged for their actions. A tank crashes through a building, aiming its cannon at Jake, but a missile destroys it before it can fire. Hidden rebels emerge and throw grenades inside the tank, killing the soldiers within. After the rebels leave, Jake continues his journey. In a Mayan city, soldiers terrorize streets under cruel warlord Volov's leadership. Volov enjoys chess for its war strategy lessons and forces civilians to play. When his latest opponent admits ignorance of chess rules, Volov shoots him immediately. His lieutenant Gorich reports an intruder parachuting from a plane, prompting Volov to send search teams. By morning, Jake reaches St. Quentin, where everyone lives in poverty and fear of Volov. Jake takes old clothes from a car to conceal his better attire. In the main square, soldiers announce strict rules including curfew enforcement. They demonstrate punishment severity by shooting 2 rebels. When Jake attempts to leave, soldiers surround him demanding he drop his bag. He throws it at a soldier's face and fights the entire team, trapping one soldier's hand in a car door and smashing another's head against a window. A knife-wielding soldier attacks, but Jake blocks and stabs him with his own weapon. Within seconds, all soldiers are down, but another emerges from hiding ready to shoot Jake. However, a freedom fighter slices the soldier's throat. The freedom fighter is Dree, August's contact. She watched Jake's fight without intervening, wanting to assess his capabilities since greater dangers await. The pair moves quickly through the city, staying hidden in crowds, though a general still notices them. They enter a church and meet Father Samson, who possesses an important map acquired by recently executed rebels. Samson leads them to his garage, showing them his truck project. The map reveals their next destination and features a cipher code. While Samson prepares the truck, Dree tends Jake's injuries. The general and his army surround the church, demanding everyone exit. Dree and Jake rush to the truck while Samson distracts the general outside. Disbelieving Samson's claim of being alone, soldiers enter to search. Samson draws his gun, shooting the general's arm before soldiers immediately kill him. Inside, soldiers discover the garage and focus on Jake in the truck. Dree attacks from behind, quickly eliminating them through shooting and stabbing. Outside, soldiers continue firing at Samson, masking the interior gunshots. However, when Jake starts the truck, loud radio music alerts them. The tank fires at the church as the duo bursts through the garage door unharmed. Soldiers open fire, but their bullets prove ineffective. Jake drives the truck up a ramp, jumping over the tank to escape. Soldiers pursue on motorcycles, soon reaching a checkpoint where guards also open fire. Realizing the truck's bulletproof nature, Jake drives straight ahead, jumping the roadblock and forcing guards aside. Another soldier-filled car appears, forcing Jake to drive into a building. The distant tank's cannon shot hits a random car that lands on the road, causing some bikers to crash. Jake makes a sharp turn, avoiding an explosion as Dree directs him into a tunnel. They race at maximum speed with two bikers still pursuing. Exiting the tunnel, they encounter another waiting tank. Jake barely avoids the cannon shot in time. The chase continues until they're surrounded. Dree throws a grenade, eliminating the bikers, though one car remains in pursuit. The tank fires again, and Jake makes the truck jump so the shot hits their pursuers instead. Entering another facility area, a new car with soldiers appears as the tank prepares another shot. Jake moves quickly to avoid it, again causing their enemies to be hit instead. Finally, Jake and Dree can drive safely to Soily. That night, the heroes rest. Jake questions why everyone risks death for a painting, regardless of its fame. Dree explains the painting serves as pretext to find the vault before Volov, as it contains weapons rebels could use in their fight. Knowing Jake's dream, she creates an origami boat as a good luck gift. The next day, Volov travels rapidly to St. Quentin by train. His general reports how only 2 rebels defeated the entire team, trying to earn favor by mentioning the priest's killing. However, Gorich kills him anyway. In Soily, the duo reaches an old building supposedly housing the vault. Dree feels nervous since this area belongs to the Wraiths, former inmates turned cannibals. They observe a nearby flare shot, indicating pursuit. Rushing inside, they find blood on walls and an open, empty vault. Fresh explosive residue on hinges suggests recent forced entry. Since the vault interior shows no damage, Jake concludes everything was removed to a more secure location. Outside, Wraiths rapidly approach. Continuing their search upstairs, the duo finds numerous bullet casings on the next floor with wall damage. Jake deduces defenders made their stand there. In the main office, they search evacuation records. Jake discovers a false wall in a cabinet with a hidden notebook behind it. Dree translates the French notes, obtaining needed coordinates, but Jake remains suspicious. He believes treasure protectors wouldn't leave location information easily discoverable. Using the map cipher, Jake attempts decoding the coordinates for the real location. Wraiths burst into the building. Despite Dree's urgency to leave, Jake continues working until finally deciphering Simshof, which Dree identifies as a fort while locating it on the map. With Wraiths rushing upstairs, the duo escapes through the window. Jake's door-rigged grenade explodes when Wraiths open it, eliminating them instantly. Back in the truck, Dree contacts rebels, arranging to meet at Simshof. Moments later, the train reaches Soily and Volov spots the truck's tire tracks. Gorich finds the notebook with coordinates, but Volov doesn't fall for the deception, using UV light to reveal Dree's fingerprints on the map. Now knowing he must go to Simshof too, Volov thanks the surviving flare-shooting Wraith by shooting him. Eventually, the heroes arrive at Simshof, where Dree cuts a chain to open the gate. Reaching the main building, Jake grows suspicious at the absence of security. Inside, some machines continue operating, leading Jake to assume solar panel power exists. Dree examines blueprints, discovering the humming sound originates from an air filtration system for the sealed vault. Jake studies the blueprints too, planning to access through an air duct shaft despite a fan obstacle. Dree agrees to locate solar panels to disable the fan while Jake advances. On the top floor, Jake finds rope and ties it to a valve. He cuts his bag to create a harness attached to the rope, then begins climbing down the shaft. He sees the spinning fan below, requiring careful navigation. Unfortunately, rope friction causes gradual braking. Simultaneously, Dree reaches the solar panel area and opens fire, missing her first shot. Her second shot succeeds, destroying the panels and stopping the fan just as Jake falls, landing roughly. After checking the flooded air duct, Jake takes a deep breath and dives in, swimming as fast as possible. He quickly reaches the hatch but finds it locked. Jake desperately pushes until forcing it open just in time to avoid drowning. Finally entering the vault, Jake opens the door from inside so Dre can join him. The Mona Lisa reveals itself as a nuclear bomb with the famous painting drawn on its surface. Jake is shocked, but Dre already knew. August withheld this information knowing Jake wouldn't have helped, which Jake confirms. Dre explains that when the USA bombed Japan, they saved an extra bomb from Moscow as contingency. She assures Jake that August doesn't intend using the bomb, only keeping it from warlords like Volov. Jake believes no warlord can be trusted, including August, and sees no point fighting since warlords always prevail. As rebels arrive to help Dre move the bomb, Jake drives away in the truck. Seconds later, the train arrives at Simshof and soldiers open fire. Rebels attempt defense but are quickly overwhelmed. Gorich fires a missile destroying the rebels' truck. Volov receives the safety key while soldiers carry the bomb to the train. Meanwhile, Jake rests and stares at the small origami boat, changing his mind. He returns to the fort finding all the bodies but discovers Dre safe inside the building. He bandages her leg injury while she apologizes for her attitude, admitting he was right about fighting being pointless. However, Jake believes they can stop Volov by destroying the train. They gather explosives with Jake creating a special setup before leaving in the truck. The fort explodes behind them. That evening, the train slows due to poor visibility. Annoyed, Volov shoots the conductor in the head, accelerating the train. Simultaneously, the heroes drive on a bridge, and when the train passes, Jake jumps aboard. He opens a door and throws a grenade, killing multiple guards. Survivors remain, so Jake rushes in for hand-to-hand combat, stealing a gun to open fire. Soon Gorich joins the fight, proving stronger than ordinary thugs and requiring greater effort from Jake. Gorich kicks Jake from the car, landing him dangerously close to the bomb, allowing Jake to strike his groin. Fighting continues until Volov appears firing, with Jake using Gorich as a shield. Jake then rushes to tackle Volov, exchanging blows throughout the room. Eventually, Jake pushes Volov onto a table, stabbing his hand with a compass before taking the safety key. Meanwhile, Dre drives ahead reaching the next bridge where she sets explosives. They detonate, destroying the bridge before the train can cross. Jake immediately exits the car while Volov rushes to the controls attempting to stop the train, but it's too late. Volov watches helplessly as the train plunges into the abyss, exploding multiple times rolling down the nearby gorge. Dre cries thinking Jake died too, but he surprises her from behind and they embrace. Later in England, Jake gives the safety key to August, explaining the bomb rests at the gorge bottom. Only the key can detonate it, but August still wants retrieval as precaution. Jake refuses additional missions and leaves on his new boat. Dre joins him and they kiss while sailing the world together. Meanwhile, August places the safety key in his vault, revealing he possessed the real Mona Lisa all along.